This video is for those who are trying to break into the tech industry. Maybe you've come from a boot camp, a coding boot camp. Maybe you just finished your CS degree, or maybe you are fully self-taught. All of the things that I will be discussing in this video are geared for someone who's trying to break into tech, and that could be as a developer. Maybe you're trying to get into cybersecurity, data analytics. There are endless possibilities for you in that regard. So let's jump right into it. First of all, 2023, it's a difficult year for tech enthusiasts. We've seen a lot of tech layoffs. And if you go on LinkedIn or if you go on Reddit, you see thousands of people talking about how hard it is to break into tech right now. And it's very discouraging and it's very scary. And if you're in this predicament right now, I just want to say I am so sorry that this is what we're facing. It really doesn't help the imposter syndrome. If you're suffering with imposter syndrome, it doesn't help feel like there's job security. And yeah, we're kind of in scary times. But the reason why I'm making this video is because I truly believe, and I also know that it is possible for you to break into the field. So a little bit about me. I currently work as a software developer. I am a boot camper. So I did boot camp a few years ago, and I managed to break into tech last year. And I also currently teach at a programming boot camp to adult learners who want to transition into the tech field and who want to change their lives. So I do feel very passionate about this topic. I always have not only students of mine, but friends of mine. I have them in mind. I'm thinking about them all the time because I really want to see them succeed and achieve their goals. So my number one tip, if you want to break into tech, and again, this is after you've done the boot camp, after you've done the CS degree, obviously you should have a portfolio of some sort. You should have at least one project that you're very proud of that you can demonstrate. I would recommend having as many projects as possible. Once you've done that, the number one thing that you should do is you should start networking. And I mean IRL, in real life, networking. Find the tech events in your area. Go to tech events, hackathons, anything where tech professionals will be, anywhere where people who are already in the industry will show up. Go there and interact with them. If you want to be a tech professional, you need to go where there are tech professionals, and you need to introduce yourself to them. And don't make it a secret that you're looking for a job. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Maybe you're shy, maybe you're introverted, maybe it's hard for you to put yourself in social situations like this. This is a skill that you need to practice. You need to work on it. You need to get better at putting yourself out there and communicating with people. Even if it's a challenge, even if it's difficult, it is a skill. You can practice it, you can improve, and you will if you try. And you know, I always like to joke, those tech events usually do have alcohol for a reason, but it's a joke. I don't like drinking. It could take the edge off a little bit. But go to tech events, meet people. I have gone to so many tech events, and I find them to be such a pleasure. I find them to be so fun. I love meeting new people, making friends. You are coming across like-minded people, because if you're interested in tech and they're interested in tech, then you already have one common denominator. So that's really exciting. You want to meet people in your tribe, like-minded people. So go to tech events, put yourself out there, make it no secret that you are searching for your job, even if it's your first job. And, just so you know, I broke into tech because I went to a tech event and I made it no secret that I was job searching. That's what worked for me. So that's why I can speak so highly of this strategy. And right now in the industry, you see the applications on LinkedIn, it's in the thousands, it's in the hundreds, if not thousands. Thousands of people are applying with their resumes to the same job. How are you going to compete? How are you going to stand out? It is really incredibly hard. I think that AI is like filtering most people out because maybe they don't have a degree or something. I don't want you to be wasting your time applying for hundreds, if not thousands of jobs just to be rejected, or worse yet, to be ghosted, like you don't even know what happened to your application. So instead, what I would say is work on your network. Focus on your network. Go to tech events, meet people, let them know that you're interested in getting a job, and an email or a business card, that will get your resume seen way faster. Try to meet recruiters and try to focus on making really good impressions on people. So that's my number one tip, is networking. Now you can network in real life, IRL, but you can also network online. And I like to really think of this term. It's called the digital self. So you really want to cultivate your digital self. And that means that when someone searches your name, they find a professional online. And that can be done in numerous ways, but the number one platform, social media platform for career professionals is LinkedIn. So get your LinkedIn in shape. Get your LinkedIn profile looking good. You know, you want to have a professional picture on there. It could be a real picture, or it could be an AI generated professional headshot. I am a fan of those, as long as they're done very well and it looks, it looks like you. It's not, make sure you do it very, very well. But I am a fan of the AI professional headshots. Make sure your LinkedIn is up to date, filled out with all the information that is tech related. What college did you attend if you attended college? What boot camp did you complete if you completed boot camp? How long have you been self-teaching if that's your story? Make sure all of your projects are on there, and your GitHub. And I would recommend having a personal website. And look at all the little LinkedIn, like look at someone who has a very good filled out LinkedIn and study it, and just go ahead and take inspiration from that. So for example, LinkedIn headline, that's a big one. If you're trying to break into tech, your LinkedIn headline should include those keywords for the field that you're interested in. So if you're trying to get into cybersecurity, it should say cybersecurity. If you're trying to get into web development, then you can say web developer with, 2 years of experience. Maybe you're self-teaching for 2 years, and put JavaScript in there, put React, put whatever tools and technologies that you are proficient in or interested in. That's going to make you more searchable, and that's going to make you look more professional. So work on your digital self. Make sure that when someone looks you up, they don't see anything crazy. You want to have a professional digital self. Now, LinkedIn is a very valuable resource, and I'm not talking about easy applying for jobs that already has hundreds, if not thousands, of people who have applied to it. What I'm talking about is look at the companies in your area or companies you might be interested in, and try to send a message to someone. See if you can get someone to have lunch with you, or even to just have like a virtual Zoom meeting. I have done that. I have had someone who reached out to me. She found me on LinkedIn. She was living in New York because I am from New York, and I did attend a boot camp in New York. So she found me that way, and she saw that I was working for a company, and my company is based all over the world. It has an office in New York, and it has an office in Kansas, where I currently reside. So she reached out to me and she said, can we do a virtual Zoom call? Can we do lunch? And I said, absolutely. And we did just that. For one of my lunch times, I sat down with her. We got on Zoom together. We spoke for about 45 minutes. We were both boot campers, so we related on that. We talked about our experiences. She had gotten her first job at a bank, but then she had been laid off a few months later. I had gotten my first job, and I was still there a year later, and we just exchanged our stories. And after 45 minutes, I had told her, you know, this is what this company is like. If you're interested, I met you. You're a real human being. You're very nice and sweet. I am totally perfectly fine with referring you. Not a problem. That is no skin off my back. Why would I not want to do a good thing for someone? So I told her I was willing to do that for her. And that's what I'm recommending you do. You can get on LinkedIn, you can message people, and sure, not everyone is going to respond, but someone might bite, and that human connection is way more valuable than sending your resume into the void where you don't know where it's gone, who's going to see it, and what has happened to it. The next thing you need to do if you are trying to get into tech for the first time is you need to work on your skills. Skills are the most important thing. Anyone can do this job as long as they have the skills. So you need to be practicing your skills on a daily or weekly basis. You need to be building projects that demonstrate your capabilities. If you learn something, build a project in it immediately. Build any project in it. If you learn SQL, build a project using SQL. If you learn Python, build a project using Python, etc., etc. Even something as small as HTML and CSS. I did free code camp, and I built a little project with strictly HTML5 and CSS just to demonstrate that I fully understand HTML5 and the newest tags in there. And yeah, people, my friends would tease me like, you just built a little HTML project. It was on my resume. I was very proud of it. I got a job with it. Okay. So yeah, I got a job with 2 projects. The first one was JavaScript, React, and I connected an API. It was a horoscope website. The second project was a little HTML5 and CSS project. And yeah, I was constantly working on my skills. So I was trying to build something with React Native, and I didn't really like React Native. I had a hard time with it. But when I interviewed for the job that I have now, I mentioned this to the interviewer. I told her, well, you know, this year I was playing with React Native, I was playing with mobile development because I already kind of fully realized my web development capabilities. So I just wanted to try new things. And that year that I was interviewing, I was playing with Solana, which is in the realm of blockchain, and I was playing with React Native, which was in the realm of mobile development. And she was like, oh my God, mobile development? You know mobile development? She's like, I need someone for mobile development. And like with that, she found a role for me as a native Android developer, and all my dreams came true. So I truly, truly believe that I got my job, one, because I went to a tech event and I met someone in the company who was like, I'll give you an interview. 2, during my interview, I had been working on my skills so much, like I was throwing everything at her. I know Python, that was my first language. I was playing with blockchain, you know, whatever. Blockchain's like trendy. I thought it could help. I was playing with React Native because I wanted to try something new. And she was like, bam, I have a mobile dev position. Let's put you in there. And I was like, yes. You know, so really, once you have fully recognized and gotten proficient with one programming language or one thing, do not be afraid to explore other avenues. Like the tech field is so vast. There are so many things. Like there's AWS, there's cybersecurity, there's web development, there's blockchain. Now there's AR and VR, which is very exciting stuff. Don't be afraid to dip your toes into the various technologies because 1, you don't know what you might get a job in, and 2, you don't know what you might fall in love with. Like you might fall in love with Java. That's crazy because nobody likes Java, but you might love Java, you know, so don't be afraid to try new things and see what really resonates with you. Or if your goal is, you know, to just get a job, you can learn any of these skills that will help you get a job faster. So we've spoken about networking. We've spoken about continuously learning and updating your skills. The next thing that I want to talk about, and I tell all my students and all my friends this, and it's a little bit crazy, but you should really think about content creation. You should really think about social media, because again, this is just you putting yourself out there, and no one is going to laugh at you or judge you for putting yourself out there. At least no one worth a dime. You putting yourself out there, you putting your unique spin on things could be so valuable and so helpful to the world. Like, let's consider, what if you write a blog post that teaches someone a technology in a way that really resonates with them? They understand how you explain things. That could be incredibly valuable. So go on LinkedIn and write posts, write about your tech journey, update people. You can talk about how you've gotten to where you've gotten. How did you self-teach? How did you get through the college degree? How did you get through the boot camp? When I went through my boot camp, I used to watch YouTube videos about other boot campers who found success, and that would inspire me and that would motivate me. So now I want to do the same. I want to create content that might help or inspire others, and tech enthusiasts, they will only appreciate this about you. This field is not easy. So everyone contributing and adding value to it is really an amazing, admirable, and respectable thing. Don't be afraid to say that you write a blog. That's freaking cool and helpful. And a company might find you through your blog and offer you a job. So consider maybe writing a blog. Consider maybe making a YouTube video. This is just another way for you to add to your digital self, make you look more like a professional. And I'm not saying that you need to be an expert. You do not need to be an expert to create content. You just need to be willing to put yourself out there and get feedback. Do you know how important it is to get feedback? How do you know if your projects are good if no one gives you feedback? Feedback is good. Feedback is helpful criticism. That's only going to help you improve. That's only going to be good for you. So yeah, if you have a post on LinkedIn, if you have a question, if you have a proposal, if you have a comment, put it up and let people find you. Let people comment on it. Let's see what people have to say. Don't be afraid to open a discussion. So I highly recommend content creation if you're trying to break into tech. I have a girlfriend who made a YouTube video. YouTube video has less than 1,000 views. She got offered a job because of that YouTube video. It was a tech related video. It was something like how to break into tech, something along those lines. She got a job offer from an HR person who found that video. The HR lady saw that video. She was like, I resonated with your story so much. I wanted to reach out to you. That is the amazing part about the internet, is it connects people. And you can find your network fully virtually. The bootcamp that I teach is fully virtual, and I feel like I have made lifelong friends. Like, I have made amazing connections. Don't be afraid of the internet. The internet is just a tool. It can be used for good or evil. Use it for good. Use it for good. Create good, valuable content that can help people. And if you don't know where to start with that kind of thing, I always like to say, I always like to look at myself 6 months ago. What could I tell myself 6 months ago that would help me with my career? What could I tell Sammy a year ago or 2 years ago that could help her, get through the boot camp easier or learn programming more efficiently? What are the tips and tricks? So think about your past self and how you would help them. And if you could help yourself, think about how many hundreds, if not thousands, of other people that you could help. So those are my 3 main tips: networking, sharpening your skills, and content creation. An excellent book is called Show Your Work by Austin Kleon, I believe his name. That is an excellent book if you do want to consider content creation. And yeah, don't be afraid to stand out a little bit more. Like, okay, you have a college degree, excellent. You know, do you have certificates? I happen to be a huge fan of Coursera and their certificates. I really love their certificates. And the more you know about this field, the better. Like, it only helps. So check that out as well. I would recommend looking into Coursera. Try to be, you know, as a cut above as possible. You know, like, what if we have 2 people with CS degrees? Maybe that certificate will make one person stand out from the other. What if we have 2 people who came from a boot camp? Well, one has a blog fully devoted to learning JavaScript. Maybe that will make them stand out just a little bit more than the other. But the number one thing, like I said, is making that human connection and networking with people. I went to a tech event this year. I met this senior developer. He's been in it for like 10 years. You know, he was a traditional path. Like, he got the CS degree. Really cool guy, really smart. You could just tell he probably spoke machine code. And I was like, you know, what are you looking for in your junior developers? And he told me, I can teach someone how to code. I cannot teach someone how to be human. So maybe that's the 4th thing I'll add to my list. The 4th thing is work on your soft skills. You know, you'd be surprised, but this field, you need to be an excellent communicator. I say that because before I was a programmer, I used to think like, oh my God, when I become a programmer, I'm going to be coding in my basement and I'm not going to talk to anyone and it's going to be awesome. That's literally how I thought it was. But no, you know, now that I have the job, I realize it's all meetings, you know, it's conversations, it's a high level of communication. And thankfully I have worked on those skills. And I think now I'm an excellent communicator. I wasn't always easy for me. You know, I was very shy, very introverted. It was hard for me to talk to people. And I've worked on it and now I'm a lot better. Like, now I would say my communication skills are excellent and it makes life better. It really does. You want to go to work with people that you enjoy being around, that are easy to talk to and easy to communicate with. So make sure that you work on having those same skills. Yeah, if you are interested in like psychology, people want to work with people who are 50% warm and 50% competent. If you're too competent, it turns people off. You know, maybe they feel threatened, or I don't know. If you're too competent, it scares people. If you're too warm and not competent, then, you know, work doesn't get done. So really focus on being 50% competent, but 50% warm. And yeah, that's what I have for how to break into tech in 2023. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. If you want to open up any discussion, I'm very open to it. If you have more tips and tricks, please leave them in the comment section below. I know that it's a hard year. It's hard to see thousands of people getting laid off with these tech layoffs. It's hard to face rejections again and again and again. But remember, you just need the one job. It doesn't matter if you get rejected tens or hundreds or, you know, thousands, hopefully not thousands, but if you get rejected a ton of times, it doesn't matter. You just need the one job and you're good to go. So with that, thanks for watching. If this gave you any value, please give the video a like and a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.